Keir Starmer and the growing crisis of confidence in his government. British politics is going through a period of great tension. With Keir Starmer at the helm, the UK is experiencing profound changes in its economic and social structure. However, not all of these changes have been well received. The growing disapproval of the government, criticism inside and outside Parliament, and uncertainty about the future have led to an unavoidable question. Is Starmer losing control of his leadership? The recent controversy in Parliament, where he was openly called a liar, is just a symptom of a much bigger problem. A problem that not only affects politics, but also the daily lives of millions of British citizens. Today, we will analyze why Starmer's leadership is generating so much outrage and what consequences this may have for the future of the UK. The disillusionment with the promise of change. When Keir Starmer came to power, he did so with the promise of being a different kind of leader. After years of conservative governments, many saw in him an opportunity to renew the country, strengthen public services, and restore economic stability. But as the months go by, doubts are growing. One of the biggest problems of his administration has been the lack of consistency in his policies. Many of his campaign promises have been left unfulfilled, while other decisions have turned out to be more unpopular than expected. Tax increases, a lack of investment in critical infrastructure, and the perception that his government prioritizes certain sectors over others have caused growing discontent. Small and medium-sized businesses, which are the backbone of the UK's economy, have been hit hard. With rising taxes and increasingly suffocating bureaucracy, many have been forced to shut down or lay off staff. This not only generates unemployment, but also directly affects the local economy and the well-being of thousands of families. At the same time, public services, which should be a cornerstone of a Labour government, continue to face constant crises. The healthcare system, education, and public transport have shown little significant improvement, leaving people wondering, where is the promised change? A parliament more divided than ever.
Sir Oliver Dundon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. St Hilda's Girls' School looks set to join Emmanuel Jewish Prep as the second school in Bushey alone forced to close because of Labour's VAT hike. This is a double hit to aspiration. First, the parents, many of whom not wealthy, who have described the significant sacrifices they have made to send their children to these schools. And secondly, to the excellent local state schools, including the one that I attended, which simply do not have the places, meaning this policy won't even save money. So may I therefore urge the Prime Minister, even at this late stage, to look again at the failures in this policy.
I don't doubt the aspirations of all parents in relation to their children. But I mean all parents. What we've been able to do is to make sure we release the funding to ensure that our state secondary schools have the teachers they need. And there's no point the party opposite pretending that they're interested in state education when they left them without the teaching they needed.
Dr. Ria Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The recent confrontation in Parliament is just a glimpse of how confidence in Starmer is eroding even within political institutions. His leadership has been questioned not only by the opposition, but also by members of his own party, who are increasingly concerned about the direction his government is taking. The fact that a parliamentarian called him a liar during a live session is a clear reflection of the current political climate. This is not just a simple disagreement, it is the manifestation of widespread frustration. When respect for authority weakens within Parliament, it is a sign that something deeper is failing. On the other hand, the relationship with the opposition has become increasingly tense. Instead of building consensus and seeking joint solutions, political debate has turned into a constant battle of accusations and personal attacks, where the real issue, the well-being of citizens, is pushed aside. This not only damages Starmer's image, but also creates a sense of instability that affects the confidence of investors, businesses, and the general public. At a time when the UK needs unity and strong leadership, what we see is a government that is becoming more and more isolated. But beyond political debates, the key question is, how does all of this affect ordinary people? The average British citizen is not interested in parliamentary fights or partisan speeches. What really matters to them is being able to pay their bills, find stable employment, and secure a future for their family. And in that sense, Starmer's leadership has not been convincing. The cost of living remains high, inflation continues to hit the middle and working class, and the housing crisis remains unsolved. Meanwhile, access to essential services like healthcare and education remains a challenge for many people. The most concerning issue is that instead of seeing concrete solutions, what people perceive is a government more focused on defending its own decisions than on correcting its mistakes. And that is dangerous, because when a government stops listening to its people, discontent turns into distrust, and distrust can lead to political instability. Where is the UK headed? The big question now is, what's next for Keir Starmer's government? If the current trend continues, his leadership will become increasingly weak. And in a democratic system, when trust in the government is broken, the consequences can be unpredictable. The coming months will be crucial. Starmer has the opportunity to regain credibility if he makes bold and effective decisions. But if he continues on the same path, the risk of a major political crisis will be inevitable.
I doubt the aspirations of all parents in relation to their children. But I mean all parents. What we've been able to do is to make sure we release the funding to ensure that our state secondary schools have the teachers they need. And there's no point the party opposite pretending that they're interested in state education when they left them without the teaching they needed.
Dr. Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
There is no punchline. I presume something was said that shouldn't have been said. I'm sure the member would like to withdraw what was said, if they've anything about them. Withdrawn. Let's carry on.
For now, uncertainty reigns in the UK, and the question remains, is this the worst government in the country's recent history? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more analysis on British politics.